At the start of the movie, we see that a lot of people migrate from Cuba to a city in America called Miami. The migration officers ask them a lot of questions, but one of them named Tony Montana dodges the questions and slips away from them. They don't have the nationality of the USA, so they are taken to a detention center where they are kept in camps. Many show his friend Tony, an officer whom they can kill and get US nationality. They will also get a lot of money as a reward. They kill the officer and get the green card and some money as well. They get out of there as soon as possible, after which they start working in a restaurant. Tony is not very happy with the job he has, and he tells his friend that he is willing to do something big. He wanted to do something big and they met a man named Omar. He is the right hand of a very famous and big drug dealer named Frank. He wants to give them some money for the murder they did in the detention center. Tony tells Omar that he doesn't want these small jobs, but he wants to do something big. At first, Omar gets angry and is about to kill them, but afterward he calms down. The very next day he goes to a drug dealer with two of his more friends. He goes inside with his new friend and the other guy remains in the car. He goes inside and meets the guy who is a very disgusting man. He points the gun at both of them and kills his new friend in front of him. He is about to kill Tony as well when Manny and his friend come inside. They attack the drug dealer when he runs outside in order to save his life. Tony follows him and this time he shoots the man in front of everyone in broad daylight. Omar had sent them here and now he has a lot of drugs himself. He refuses to give the drugs to Omar because he has started to suspect him. He doesn't give the drugs to Omar but decides to give them to his boss named Frank directly. They go to meet him and when they meet the guy, he is very charming and they meet him in a very good way. Frank is very much impressed by their work and because of that he also invites them to work with him. He introduces his wife named Elvira to them as well. She is of a very young age and very attractive as well. Tony falls in love with her at the first sight and he tries to talk to her as well. 3 months passed like that and now Tony has become a very important man for Frank. One day Tony takes his friend Manny to a place where his mother and his sister live. His mother yells at him because he left them 5 years ago and now he is a criminal. Every Cuban has turned their back on them because of Tony. Her son is called a criminal in society and she tells him to get out. Tony's sister follows him to the car because she believed him to be the father of the family after their real father passed away. After she goes away, his friend tells him that his sister was very beautiful, upon which Tony gets angry and warns his friend not to even think about that. After that, he sends Tony and Omar for a very big drug deal with a drug dealer named Alejandro. Tony talks to him and makes the deal upon which Omar gets upset as he had taken a lot of big decisions without even asking his boss. Alejandro stops Tony and tells Omar to go because it will also be an assurance. When Omar sits on the helicopter to go back, he is killed by a man Alejandro. He hangs the body of Omar, meaning that he was killed. He goes to a club afterward with his friend Manny, where he sees his sister too. She is dancing with him and taking drugs too. That man takes her to the men's bathroom and tries to take advantage of her because she is drunk and high on cocaine. Tony comes there and starts to beat the shit out of that man when he hits his sister too. He warns her that if he sees her at a place like that again, he will definitely kill her. She falls down there and Manny picks her up. He takes her back to her home. They talk a lot on the way and we come to know that both of them like each other as well. Tony gets separated from the operation and starts another drugs ring of himself. When Frank comes to know about that, he gets angry and shocked because of that and now he sends 2 sharpshooters to kill Tony. They fire multiple rounds on Tony, but he escapes from there and runs away saving his life. Tony believes that Frank was the one after his life and now he goes to his house the very next day with some people. He asks the reason for the attack upon which Frank denies that he ever attacked him. Tony threatens the guy and Frank finally accepts that he attacked Tony. He knows that attacking Tony was a very big mistake of his life because of which he says sorry to him and asks for forgiveness. Frank knows that Tony came with his people and he is a lot more powerful than before. He orders Manny to kill the man upon which he rains down the bullets on Frank. Frank's important people and the rest of them are bound to join Tony now. He takes over every single illegal empire and business of Frank, including his wife Elvira, to whom he was attracted at the first sight. He marries the woman and afterwards starts to fulfill his dream because he has now become a very big and important man. Every single drug dealer starts to work with him now and he builds a very big mansion for himself and his family. The banks tell him that he cannot deposit such a large amount of cash in one day, but Tony makes them agree. He has an unlimited amount of cash now. One day he gets raided by the police and now he has to go to jail because a video was made by the police. His drugs are also seized by the police which is burned afterward. He meets his old friend named Alejandro. He is the same man once they went for the deal. He meets a government officer at a very important position. They tell Tony about a journalist who has very important evidence about their drug empire. He recommends Tony to kill the man because of which they can survive as the journalist is trying to expose them. They offer Tony to remove every single one of the allegations on him if he does the job, which Tony accepts. At night he goes to a restaurant with his wife and Manny. He gets very emotional after drinking wine and tells his wife that she is useless as she cannot give birth. He wanted to be a father and now he cannot be one. Elvira gets angry after hearing this and throws wine on Tony. She yells at him that he won't be able to become a good father. They don't even know how long Tony is alive and he doesn't know how to make a family happy. She leaves after this. Tony follows the journalist afterward with some men of Alejandro. The journalist sits in his car with his family and Tony tells them not to act as the family is sitting in the car as well. A man doesn't listen to him because Tony gets angry and he shoots the guy. Tony leaves as soon as possible after that and the journalist's life is spared afterward. Alejandro is concerned as he tells him that he can never kill the journalist now. Tony tells him that the journalist was gonna come to New York the very next month and he will kill him there and then. Alejandro tells him that the guy had tightened his security after he came to know about the bomb. Alejandro, who was his friend, now became his enemy. Tony has a lot of enemies in the city and yet he is a very big gangster. He runs a very big drug empire, yet he feels lonely somewhere in his heart. He goes to meet his mother and sister afterward when his sister is not at home. His mother tells him that his sister leaves every night with a man. She tells him the address of the house she goes to. Tony himself goes to the house a lot and we see that it's his friend's house. He sees that his sister is with his best friend and this triggers him because he had warned Manny before too. He shoots his best friend in hatred and anger as Manny didn't listen to him. His sister starts to cry because he tells her that they had married each other. She tells him that they were gonna tell him the very next day. They had prepared a surprise for him, but now he has lost his best friend and his sister's husband. Tony gets sad and regrets what he did. He takes his sister and goes back to his house, where Alejandro's men are already waiting for him because they want to kill him on his orders. He is half dead now. Alejandro's men kill his private guards first, and his sister starts to shoot at him because he killed her husband. She has lost her mind and keeps shooting at Tony where she shoots his leg too. A man comes in and shoots his sister when she dies on the spot. Tony gets furious and he throws him out of the window. He comes near her and starts to cry. He grabs his gun and shoots at the door. The door explodes and a lot of Alejandro's men get killed. He keeps shooting at them and more men come at him. He kills most of the men, but some of them shoot at him. Tony receives a lot of holes in his body, but he still moves forward until one of them comes at his back and shoots him with a shotgun. Tony falls in the swimming pool that he has downstairs. The movie ends here. We get a moral from this movie that everyone will come to you once you become successful and we can achieve our dream, but in a proper way.